Positive Spin, presenting positive, innovative, and solution-oriented news from around the world.
One world, one love.
On today's program, we'll see a music video by musician Vernon Ice Black entitled One World, One Love. And we'll view a UNICEF video focused on the importance of education for the world's children. Then we'll present a profile on environmental activist and Goldman Prize recipient Wendy Bowman.
Most of her 83 years, and has realized over time that the coal operations.
If you look close, you'll see.
Following that, we'll attend the opening of an art exhibit entitled Immigrant at the Tolerance Center in Rancho Mirage, California.
Printed fabric. So again, even though it's painting, I'm still incorporating.
Then
other
we'll learn about the
technologies.
innovative way UN peacekeepers are restoring peace in the Central African Republic.
Hundreds of ex-combatants are helping to
Which is, we have to treat the earth better. We have to treat
Finally,
ourselves
we'll hear a personal message of peace from television producer and director Chip
better.
Miller.
Religion is, no matter whether we're transgender, gay, purple, blue, black, we're all people.
To celebrate the United Nations International Day of Peace, prominent musician Vernon Ice Black created an anthem to honor this important occasion. The song, entitled One World, One Love, was produced by John Marsh, Blueberry Productions, and executive produced by Ted Wright and April Walcott Wright.
One world, one love. Now, time has come, politics aside, yes. All that need be seen is in your eyes. Let common sense take precedence over foolish pride, yes. 'Cause all that need be seen is in your eyes. With injustice, you belittle us and ignore us. The time you trust us with what we say we need. All you got to do, listen to the people, voice of the people. 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 No longer masquerade. Truth known around the world, yeah. All that need be seen is in your eyes. Our higher self speaks loud and clear, so pretend no more, yes. All that need be seen is in your eyes. It's injustice to belittle us and ignore us. Time you trust us with what the future will be. All you got to do, listen to the people, voice of the people. Listen to voice of the people. Listen to the voice of the people. Voice of the people. Listen to 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 the people. Voice of the people. One world, one
In the following video presentation from UNICEF, children from around the world express their views on the importance of education in their lives.
Lengua y dibujo. Apoi fer matematică. Problem, multiplicație.
Kita tayo sa pinagula amon. Itsokli amon. Upay pag-eskwela. When I see Ebola, I feel very sad. That is why I say I want to become a medical doctor.
Les écoles sont des ressources à permettre de donner des savoirs, des dames respectables.
I do not think about my leg. I feel free.
We now present a profile of environmental activist and 2017 Goldman Prize recipient, Wendy Bowman. In the midst of an onslaught of coal development in Australia, the 83-year-old stopped a powerful multinational mining company from taking her family farm and protected the community from further pollution and environmental destruction.
The Hunter Valley, north of Sydney, is home to wine country, horse breeding, fertile farmland, and cattle ranches. Surrounding this idyllic countryside are more than 40 open-pit coal mines. Wendy Bowman has lived here for most of her 83 years and has realized over time that the coal operations were taking a heavy toll on the community.
It was about 88, 89 when the mine came next door to us. We started to notice our crops were looking sick and some of them were dying and we didn't know why. Then I got the Department of Water to come and test. That water was full of heavy metals, and so that was when things started to really go wrong. The cattle wouldn't even eat the feed.
Over the years, Wendy relocated within the Hunter Valley because of the encroaching mining operations. But when Yancoal Mining Corporation came knocking on her door in 2010, Wendy Bowman decided that she had no intention of moving for a second time. Her primary concern was her neighbors and their farms downstream. Mining operations were depleting and polluting the water supply through the valley.
Yancoal have got a very bad reputation for things going wrong at all their different mines. And I just think it's appalling that the government has allowed the mines to come here and rape our land. The dust and the noise all day, all night, it never stops. What worried me more was that if I sold, it would wreck the lives of all those people. Everybody downstream was going to rely on this water. If anything happens to this water, there's no other water you can link into.
Private property is important. Yeah. You just can't bulldoze these people out of existence.
Yeah. I'd been through hell with all these mining companies. I just didn't want other people to go through what we'd had to go through.
Wendy began organizing her community as well as the nearby towns that were in conflict with the many mining operations in the valley. Then the dialogue turned to concerns over medical issues.
We suddenly heard there were so many people with cancer in this area. We found that the numbers of people with asthma was just frightening. And so that was when we started a Singleton Shire Healthy Environment Group. We needed a lot of legal help, and so they got onto the Environmental Defenders Office. They were so wonderful because they gave us courage to have a go, and we knew then what our rights were. Then they were the ones that took on the court case.
Wendy understood that within her hands was the ability to highlight the real injustice about the way mining companies can just come in, take people's homes, take the water and disturb the farms. We were able to put forward independent experts on water, air, as well as Aboriginal cultural heritage, and hear from other landowners that were experiencing the impacts.
The decision from the Land and Environmental Court was unanimous that the mine could proceed only if they could purchase Wendy's property. Wendy, of course, refused to sell. Then Yancoal Mining proceeded to the Court of Appeal in Sydney.
It was worrisome. We had achieved environmental justice for Wendy, and here we were again. We got a unanimous decision of the Court of Appeal, and Wendy could go home and breathe deep. It was a terrific feeling. It felt like there was justice.
I don't think I've done anything extra special, except that I've done it longer than most of them, I think.
For outstanding environmental achievement for islands and island nations, the 2017 Goldman Environmental Prize is awarded to Wendy Bowman, Hunter Valley, Australia.
The Tolerance Center in Rancho Mirage, California recently opened an art exhibit focused on immigration, featuring artists from Cuba, the Philippines, and Bolivia. Positive Spin covered the opening of this exhibit on September 17th.
Talia Lizamer Holly, and I'm the Curator and Education Director at the Tolerance Education Center. And we would like to welcome you to our new amazing exhibit, The Immigrant. 3 different exhibitors, 3 different immigrants that came to the United States and chose to make this place home. Lucian Rosberger Morales, Marconi Calindas, and Juan Manuel Alonso. Very colorful, very beautiful.
Hi, welcome to the art show. I am from Bolivia, but I lived most of my life in the United States. When I was 16, I returned to Bolivia, and it was like the wind and the earth were talking to me. I had to keep going back. I became very involved with cultural centers, weavers, and I feel a deep attachment to Bolivia and the culture. It's taught me a lot. Well, my art is really influenced a lot by technology. I started working with an Apple II computer really in the old days, 1979. This is my series, Sacred Bots. I spent 6 months exploring Japanese attitudes towards technology, and then slowly I got back into my own Bolivian culture and thought about the way they believe that the earth is sacred. And I believe that if the earth is sacred, then technology also has to be sacred. It's part of the earth. And if you look close, you'll see that there's little tiny characters. Those are 3D printed. Here is digitally printed fabric. So again, even though it's painting, I'm still incorporating other technologies.
A journalist by profession. I work as a writer and a journalist for a U.S. territory at the Northern Mariana Islands until I moved to San Francisco. And being a Filipino immigrant is really challenging, especially for artists, because there's just so many artists in the Bay Area. Let you know that I was one of the selected artists last year for the Hearts in San Francisco, and I believe I was one of the first Filipino artists that created that heart that you see it in Union Square and all over San Francisco.
Hello, my name is Juan Manuel Alonso. I'm an artist. I was born in Cuba and I came to the States in the early 60s. Yeah. My inspiration is taken from Afro-Cuban mythology and the images of Paul Celan, of Josephine Baker during the 20s, and the whole period between 1890s to the 1930s is what really inspired me. Painting, for example, it's 17 people, and the importance of it is that the north is a black image and the south is a white image. The east is a yellow and the red is on the west. And the combination of all the 4 races that are represented by the brújula, I don't know how to say it, in the compass. And they're celebrating the fact that they do not speak evil of each other anymore. And that's why all their lips are in form of hearts. The colors I try to do with color and the percentage of each one to activate all the chakras on the body, because subconsciously when you look at something, the color is what tells you the emotions and of course the imagery that is done as well, but the colors of the importance. And for me, this painting or all my work is like a color bath for the observer, and it's something that since I was a child, color has inspired me incredibly much.
So this center was founded, it opened in June of 2009, and our main goal is to bring students and they listen to a testimony of someone that suffered from hatred, either a Holocaust survivor, someone from the Japanese internment camp, Cambodian genocide, Armenian genocide. We also pertain to LGBT issues. And the students come here for a full day. We try to tell the students that all human beings are unique, every single individual is very unique, and in order to build a successful community, we need everyone. I mean, it takes one architect and one engineer to think of a bridge, but it takes hundreds of construction workers to make that bridge a reality.
For decades, the Central African Republic has been plagued by instability and conflict. But with the support of UN peacekeepers, ex-combatants are handing over their weapons in favor of working on community projects. These former fighters are now focused on peace and stability to advance their country's needs.
In Buar, a town in war-torn Western Central African Republic, hundreds of ex-combatants are helping to rebuild their country. These former fighters are part of an approach to advance peace and stability supported by United Nations peacekeepers. After voluntarily handing over their weapons, they are paid to denounce violence and work side by side on urgently needed community projects, such as cleanups, or in this case, road building. This project, focusing on disarmament, demobilization and reintegration, is managed by the UN peacekeeping operation called MINUSCA, Multidimensional Integrated Stabilized Mission in the Central African Republic. Established in 2014, it currently deploys 12,000 military and police across the country. For decades, the Central African Republic has been plagued by instability and fighting. In 2013, the country plunged into turmoil when a conflict erupted between the mainly Muslim Seleka rebels and the predominantly Christian anti-Balaka movement. Months of violence left thousands dead, a country on the brink of genocide, and 2.7 million, more than half the entire population, in need of humanitarian aid. Close to 450,000 people became internally displaced, and some 400,000 people fled to neighbouring countries. Encouraging sustainable disarmament and reintegration, particularly of children, is one of the important roles of the mission. It is estimated that between 6,000 and 10,000 children were part of armed militias. They played various roles, including fighting.
Le but est d'amener les jeunes combattants à déposer leurs armes. Non seulement les déposer, mais également adopter un comportement citoyen, un comportement qui leur permettait de pouvoir gagner leur vie autrement qu'avec l'utilisation des armes.
The Central African Government, in partnership with MINUSCA and the United Nations Population Fund, has initiated vocational training in this National Youth Pioneer Centre in Buar for ex-combatants. The training is given for 3 months in 5 different areas: mechanics, masonry, carpentry, motorbike mechanics, and agriculture.
J'ai découvert beaucoup de connaissances dans cette formation. J'apprends à faire le lit, j'apprends aussi à faire le fauteuil jardin, le divan qu'on appelle canapé.
Raising awareness about renouncing violence and coexisting peacefully is also an important part of this program. As he does every Saturday, this ex-combatant is spreading the word to beneficiaries about the need to live in harmony and work in unity for a common goal. Saturday is also the day when the beneficiaries are paid for their week's work on community projects. They receive 2,500 CFA franc per day, about $4 US. This cash helps them feed their families as well as create businesses in the community and invigorate the local economy. The impact of the effort is promising. It restores trust between ex-combatants and community members and improves security. It will help bring peace and hope back to the country, wounded by a conflict that has lasted so many years. This report was produced by MINUSCA and Hisai Kawamori for the United Nations.
We now hear a personal message of peace from prominent television producer and director Chip Miller with Desert Cam Productions.
Hi, my name is Chip Miller. I'm a filmmaker and an artist and a musician. I'm delivering this message today from the city of La Quinta at the La Quinta Museum in front of this lovely pastoral setting, which is great because it plays right into what I want to say, which is we have to treat the earth better, we have to treat ourselves better, we have to treat our brothers and sisters, no matter what our skin color is, no matter what our religion is, no matter whether we're transgender, gay, purple, blue, black. we're all people, and life's too short and the world's too small to be doing otherwise. So I'm a big component for peace and love. I marched back in the 60s. I'm still doing it through my art today. And I just want to give a great message of love and understanding and compassion to everybody that's listening to this. And we surely need it, especially coming out of this election cycle and all the bitterness and hate that's going on, and vitriol. It's just disgusting. So I urge us all to love one another and to look at our next door neighbor and our people around us and just realize that these are our brothers and sisters, they're human beings just like us. What's the term? Being human. So let's be human, not animals. So peace and love, and love you all.
Well, that's our show for today. We hope this program has inspired you to take action in your local community to create a better world. I'm Bill McCarthy.
I'm Ron Sato.
From Marin County, I'm John Mock.
And I want to remind you that everyone can make a difference. Go out and make some positive news.
Positive news.
Positive news.
Positive news!
I'd like to call up all of those. We're going to be giving them Peace Awards today, so please come and stay and support these folks. To the stage, please, the Peace Award recipients. Bill McCarthy, who's going to be speaking in a moment. Michael Gosney, Andy Fuso, Mona Lisa Wallace, Avon Madison, Boots Houston, Catherine Ennie, Helen Desai, and Jay Chidadam. I'd like to hand the microphone over to one of the Peace Award recipients, Bill McCarthy, is the founder of the Unity Foundation and Positive Spin TV, encouraging all of us to go out and make some good news.
We actually started putting on concerts in the park in 1975. I guess that's 42 years ago. And the very first festival was a Unity Festival, similar to this event actually, and we brought together 75 organizations, spiritual, political, environmental organizations, and the Jefferson Starship, who had the #1 song in the nation, Miracles, came and performed and brought the Grateful Dead with them. That was our first event. And the reason I mention that is the power of intention to bring things together, such as this event, makes things manifest in this world.